Okay. So good morning, everyone. Can you hear my voice, right? Online students, can you hear my voice, right? So can you hear my voice? So please respond here. Okay. Okay. Correct. Now in the last class, so here I said how to create a Flask application and how to run the Flask application. I said, and how to define the URL by using route function or route to decorator. You can use a decorator or without using decorator also you can define it by using application dot add URL rule. So where you define the URL and endpoint, and this is a function name. And always you run the Flask application by using application dot run, right? So data can be given view function or view function in different ways by concatenating with URL or using HTML form. So concatenating with URL is nothing but creating dynamic URL. Concatenating with the URL is nothing but creating, this is creating dynamic. So dynamic URL. So what is dynamic URL is? So creating dynamic URL. So dynamic URL. So we can build a dynamic URL. We can build a dynamic URL by using by using what variable in the URL, by using variable in the URL. Okay, we can build a dynamic URL by using variable in the URL. Variable is nothing but here value. Because value is here, value is concatenated, values concatenated, values concatenated with what URL and send it to what here function, send it to function. And this function is having parameters. This function is having what here parameter. This function is having parameter, okay, which receives what here values. So you can send a value to the, yes. What is the syntax is? Okay, the syntax is like this. You are using at the rate app dot. You give the function called route for defining URL, and just give within double quotes, just give slash. You just give the path slash, and here you give the variable name. Here you give the variable name, and this is nothing but keyword argument. Means you are sending value to the view function, function, by using keyword argument. And here you define the function name, and this function is having parameter. So that parameter is nothing but variable name. It means you are sending value to the view, and you include number of statements. Okay, there is a statement 1 and there is a statement 2. Okay, now this is how you send the values to the view by using dynamic URL. We can build a dynamic URL by using variable in the URL. or values concatenated with URL and set to function, send it to function. Okay, send it to function. This function is having parameter which receive value. So always a value sent to always. Okay, always value sent to. Okay, always values sent to view function. I mean function as a keyword argument. Keyword argument. So let me tell you this. Let me tell you this with the example. Now create an application again. So create a module, or every program is one application. So import, or from import, from Flask, from Flask import, from Flask import Flask. So for creating a Flask application, you are using Flask class. For creating a Flask application, you are using which class? Flask class. This is a Flask class because you are creating a Flask application. For creating a Flask application, you are using a Flask class. This is my application. And you create an application by saying application equal to what here? Flask. And you are creating your Flask application using current module. And how can you get the reference of current module? By using name. How you get the reference of current module? Using name. And here, here I'm writing a function called add. And this function received two values, that is n1 and n2. And n3 equal to n1 plus n2. N3 equal to n1 plus n2 and return n3 value. But you are sending this n1, n2 by using URL application.route, and here you are defining the URL. Here you are defining the URL Flask. Okay, here you are defining the URL by saying slash. What is the name of this function? Add, to which you are sending two values. To this, you are sending how many values? Two values. You are sending two values here, not one value. You are sending what here? Two values. So the first value is n1 slash. Second value is what here? N2. So these are nothing but keyword arguments, and n3 equal to n1 plus n2. So after that, you are trying to execute your application by saying application dot run. Application dot run. Now you try to run the application here, run module. So run module and then type this URL. Okay. Now here send a request, open the browser here. Open the browser and type the URL here. Slash, what is the name of this here? Add. If I say only add, it is given error saying that the requested URL was not found. Then what I'm doing, I'm sending a value called 10. But again it is given error, the requested URL is not found. Again it is given error because the requested URL is not found. Then again I said here 20. But again it is given, what is the name of the URL here? Add. N1 slash, I said what here? N2. And I said N1 slash N2. Yes. I try to send two values, that is slash 10. Okay, add slash 10 slash 20. And then again I'm saying slash. Okay. But it is given error, right? Because you write a function, but this function is written with how many values? Two values. This function is written with how many values here? 2 values, right? This function is written with 2 values. Suppose I've written only n1. For example, I've given only n1. Okay, suppose I take only one value. Now instead of 2 values, I take only one value. Now this is with only one parameter. And what is the name of this parameter? N1. What is the name of this parameter? N1. Okay. But always these parameters are defined within what? Less than and greater than. So there is N1 and there is what here? N2. So there is N1 and one more is what? N2. N1, N2. Okay. So add is receiving how many values? 2 values. So you write that is a mistake what we did. N3 equal to N1 plus N2 and return which value? N3 value. Okay, return N3 value. Yes. So N1 is one parameter and N2 is what here? Another parameter. So you are sending 2 values here. One is N1 value and one more is a N2 value. You are sending 2 values. One is N1 value and one more is a N2 value, right? So run the application and send how many values you are sending? 2 values. So what is the name of this here? Add. And add is having 10. So we send 10. How many values we are sending? 2 values. One is n1 and slash. We are sending one more value. And you can see 10, 20. How many values we send? 2 values. One is a 10 and one more is a 20. But is it doing addition or concatenation? Concatenation. Because whatever values you are sending, these values are treated as what? Strings. Then you have to convert these values into which type? Integer. You have to convert these values into which type? Integer. Integer of n1 plus integer of what? N2. So always the request parameters are which type? Integer, string type. Always the request parameters are which type? String type. Okay. We'll run the application again. Okay. So we'll run the application again. And here we are sending a request again 10 and 20. Now this time, what happened here? Integer of n1 and n2 return n3. So here everything has to be taken care by the user only, because okay, everything has to be taken care by the user only. Okay, what is the result is 30. Result is what? 30, right? So always the response is which type? String type. Response is which type here? String. Always the response is which type? String type. You have to convert this response. You have to convert this response into which type? String type. Okay. So this is how you are doing it. Okay. Tell me here. Ashwini, tell me. You understood this example? Understood this example? All of you? Okay, right? You're absent Saturday, na? Then what to do here? Yeah, because always the response is which type? String type. Always the response is which type? String type. Always the response should be of which type? String type. Okay. Okay, right. So this is sending values to the view by using dynamic URL. This is dynamic URL. Means you can send any values here. For example, if I'm writing 100 slash 200, now you can see the result is what? 300. Okay. So we are sending values to the view. We are sending the values to the view by using URL. But this URL is dynamic, to which you are sending more than one value. And this more than one value is separated with what? Slash. This more than one value is separated with what here? Slash. Okay. This more than one is separated with what here? Slash. Okay, right? So then next is, now here we are generating the output. See, you can generate the output by writing in HTML also. Okay, we are just generating the output like this. But even you can generate the output. Even you can generate the output. So you just type the URL. Okay, open the browser and type the URL. Open the browser and type the URL here. Okay. You can also generate the output writing what? HTML code. Here you can write the output. Output is a string, format string. And here I'm writing some body. You can write in multiple lines by using 3 single quotes. You can write in multiple lines. Okay. And you can write here H2. Okay, I'm writing sum of N1 and N2 is what? N3. Sum of N1 and N2 is N3. And here I close the body. Now what you are returning here? Output. Now you are returning the output. So run the application again. So run the application. Whenever you do changes, you have to run the application again. Okay. If you don't run the application again now, I refresh this. Now you can see sum of 100 and 200 is what? 300. Okay, now here we need to return the output as always string. But string is what here? HTML means internal it will create a response. Which response? HTTP response. It will generate the response. Which response it generates? HTTP response. Now here we are writing which code? HTML code. We are writing HTML code within the, we are writing HTML code within what? We are writing HTML code. We are writing HTML code within, okay, view. We are writing HTML code within the view. But instead of writing HTML code within the view or view function or function, you can separate this HTML code and you can write inside what? Template. You can write in HTML file. You can separate this code and you can write in HTML file. You can separate this code and you can write in HTML. Okay. And that HTML file is called a template. That HTML file is called what here? Template. That HTML file is called as a template. Okay. So here I'm introducing template. Here I'm introducing templates. Here I'm introducing template. Okay, here I'm introducing what? Template. So what is a template? Okay, here. What is a template? A template is a file. A template is a file. What is a template? Template is a file. Template is a file, and this file can be .html. This file can be .html. This file can be .xml. This file can be .txt files. This file can be any type, .html or .xml or .txt. So most of the cases, so template represents which file? HTML file. HTML file. So this HTML file or this template is, it is actually server-side program. This template is server-side program, and this program is executed. This program is executed by template engine. And what is a template engine here? Jinja. What is a template engine here? Jinja template engine. And template is dynamic. Template is what here? Dynamic. Dynamic means within template, within template. Template means what here? HTML. We can insert data dynamically and generate output. And generate what here? Output. Within template, we can insert data dynamically and generate what here? Output. Insert data dynamically and generate the output. We can insert the data dynamically and generate the output. Okay. So template is nothing but HTML. So so in Python web application development or Python Flask or any Python web application framework, web application framework, web application framework uses MVT architecture, MVT architecture for developing web application. MVT architecture. So what is MVT? Is the architecture or design pattern. What is MVT? MVT stands for model, view and template. Actually MVT stands for model, view and template. Model, comma view, comma template. So here view is a function. View is a function which receive input, and process it and generate output. Okay, generate output, receives input, process it and generate output. And this output is generated using what? Template. It means there is a clear separation. There is a clear separation between, okay, business logic. Okay, there is a clear separation between business logic, okay, and presentation logic and persistent logic. There is a clear separation between business logic, presentation logic and persistent logic. So your model represents database, which is nothing but persistent logic, and template represent presentation logic. Presentation logic means generating outputs, and you are writing a function that is HTML. So that is nothing but HTML, and view is a responsible for receiving input and including template and generating what? Output. So it means view is a responsible of communicating with the template and what? Model. So the function what you write inside a Flask application, that you call it as view function. That is called as which one? View function. Okay, that is called as a view function. Okay, right? Now first what you have to do is, so template means we are separating HTML code. We are separating HTML code from function. We are separating HTML code from the function, and we are writing this HTML code where? In the template. We are writing this HTML code where? Template means we are separating HTML code from Python code. HTML code from Python code. You are separating HTML code and Python code. HTML code you write in HTML and Python code you write in the function. Okay. So for that, for including template, what are the basic steps? Basic steps for creating what here? Template. What are the basic steps for creating template? First, create a templates folder in a current folder. Current folder means your application folder. Current folder means your application folder. Create a templates folder in your application folder. Create a template folder in your application folder. Okay. Create a templates folder in your application folder. Yeah. If your application folder is test app, then create templates folder in test app. Okay. Okay. You have to do like that. So second step is, okay, place templates. Place templates. Templates means what your HTML files. HTML files inside which folder? Templates folder. And this template, this template is used. This template is used or render. This template is used or render in a view function. View function using render template. Render template function. Render template function. Render template function provided by Flask package. Provided by Flask package. So there is a function called a render template and return. So return output. Return output or response. So create a templates folder in current folder. So what is my current folder is now in D drive. So this is my current folder. Okay, inside this, I create a folder. And what is the name of the folder I'm creating? Templates. I created one folder called templates. And inside this folder templates, inside this folder templates, what I'm doing, I'm creating one HTML file. Okay, if you want, you can do this in the VS Code. Just open VS Code otherwise. Open the VS Code instead of doing in ideally. So there it becomes very easy, right? PyCharm, VS Code, anything you can open. Okay. So close the folder and file, open folder. And here your folder is Flask Workshop. So your folder is Flask Workshop. Select this folder. Now this is your application folder. Okay, this is your application folder. And inside this I created which folder? Templates folder. In the templates folder, select this templates folder, create one file. What is this file here? Is some index.html. This is index.html. And here I am saying h2. This is template example. This is template example. I just given. This is template example. Okay. Like this. Then how can I use this template in my application? So in application folder, create one application, application3.py, application3.py, and in application1.3.py from, I'm writing here from Flask, import, which class you are importing? Flask class, comma, you are also importing one function, and what is the name of the function is render template. Sorry, the name of the function is render template. So rendering is converting your, okay, you are converting HTML file into a string by inserting values, So what is the name of the function here? Index. Index is the name of the function, and here I am saying response or output. Output equal to render. So render template and give the name of the template. What is the name of the template here? Index.html. Index.html. What is the name of the template? Index.html. And then return. What do you return here? Output. Now here you have to define the route. Now you have to create application. Application equal to Flask. And you create an application using current module __ name. And you define the URL by using route and give the URL here slash. I'm writing index. Okay, slash index. If you don't write anything, yes, index.html. Index.html. Now this is URL. Miss, how I'm accessing this view function by using this URL. How I'm accessing by using this URL function, right? Okay. Then after that, run this application. Okay, go to the terminal. Okay, go to the terminal. In the terminal, just write Python application1.py. Application1.py. Just click on Control and press Enter. So this is opened here. And what is the name of this URL here? Index. Index, we have not run the application. Application dot what here? Run. So here we run the application. So we have to run the application. Application1.run. And what is the name of this here? Index. What is the name of this here? Index array. Index.html. Flask. Oh, Flask spelling. Application 3, right? Sorry. We have to run application 3. Yes. Flask array. So render template. Okay. Lot of spelling mistakes are there. So run the application, that is application3.py. Our application is application3.py. So run the application and let's type What is the name of the view? Index. Yes. Index. Now you can see this is template example. You can see this is which example? Template example. Okay. Understood? Understood this one? Or you want to tell again? Understood? Online students? Okay. So this is including template. But how you include the template? Create one folder. Which folder? Templates folder. In your application folder, create one templates folder, and inside the templates folder you included one template. What is the name of the template you included? Index.html. What is the name of the template you included? Index.html. Okay. Okay, right? Now, even you can also pass the values. Okay, you can also pass the values. You can also pass the values. Okay, now you can also pass the values to this template. Even you can insert the values into the template, right? As what here parameters. Now, if you see render template is a predefined function. I'm copying the code here. Just see. I'm copying the code. This is application3.py. Application3.py. This is my application. In one application, you can have any number of views. In one application, you can have any number of views. I mean, view functions. Any number of functions you can have in one application. Okay. Any number of functions you can have in application. Okay, now. So this is application3.py and this is a template. So what is the name of the template? Index.html, and this is my template, and this template generate the output. Okay, understood, right? You can also insert values into the template. You can also insert values into the template. Okay, by using tags, template tags. Okay, you can also insert values into the template. So this is inserting values within template using template tags. So that is nothing but DTL, which is Django template language. So DTL stands for Django template language. You can use this language to insert values within the template. For example, let me tell you one more example here. Now I'm creating one more application. I'm creating one more application new. I just write application4.py. And here I'm writing from Flask, import. Okay, import Flask, comma, render template. Render template. I create an application and I'm creating which application? Flask application by using reference of the current module. Now there is a function called which one? Add. Add is a function which receives two values. One is n1 and one more is a n2. One is n1 and one more is a n2. And then I'm saying here output equal to render template, and you are trying to render the template. What is the name of the template is add a template dot HTML, and to this template you are sending the values. So n1 equal to n1, you are sending it as a keyword arguments, and n2 equal to what here? N2. N1 equal to N1 and N2 equal to what? N2. You are sending it as a keyword arguments. Then return what you are returning here, output. Now you need to define the URL. You are using route dot application dot route, and here you are defining URL saying slash add and slash. Now this will receive two values. One is N1 and one more is what? N2. Now here you can also define the type. I can define this type as integer. I can define this type as what? Integer. I'm defining the type as integer. Okay, but see here, we'll do one thing. N3 equal to N1 plus N2. N1 plus N2, but here I'm sending N3 value. So N3 is nothing but sum, because I want to insert only sum. Okay, I want to insert all the values, then send N1, value of N1, N2, and then the value of what here? N3. So how many values I send here? Three values, that is N1, N2 and N3, and return output. But here N1 and N2 are which type? Integer type. I have defined the type. N1 is integer and N2 is also which type? Integer. N1 is integer and N2 is also which type here? Integer type. I have defined the type. Then after that, run the application dot run. Application dot run. Okay. Application dot run. Then after that, create one template. In templates folder, create one template. And what is the name of the template I'm creating? Add a template dot HTML. Now this is add a template dot HTML, and here I want to insert these values. Here I'm inserting the values. I create table row, and here table data. This is number one. Sorry, table data, and this is number one. And here I want to insert number one. You are inserting it by using insert tag, insert data tag, and this is given within two curly braces. Now this is a tag which understood by Django template engine. Now this data you are inserting dynamically. This data you are inserting what here? Dynamically. So table row, and then I'm saying table row. So table row, and there is a table data, and this is number two. Sorry. So this is a number two. So I want to insert the data, and table data, I insert N2 value. Then again table row, then table data, and this is nothing but sum. Table data, this is nothing but sum, and table data insert value of N3. Insert value of N3. Okay. Now just try to understand here. I just give the width as some 50%. Now this is a template. Inside this template, you are inserting how many values? Three values. And you are sending these three values from your application as a keyword arguments. You are sending these three values from your application as which arguments? Keyword arguments, that is n1 equal to n1, n2 equal to n2, n3 equal to n3. You are sending it as the keyword arguments to the template. And inside the template, you are inserting n1 value, n2 value, and n3 value, but using which tag? Template tags. So this template tags will be the same like what you are using in Django. Okay, what you are using in Django, it is same. Now I try to run the application 4. Application 4, yes, Jinja tags. Application 4, and what is the name of this here? Add 1020. I can see number 1 is a 10, number 2 is a 20, and sum is what here? 30. Number 1 is a 10, number 2 is a 20, and number 3 sum is what here? 30. Okay, these values are what here? 30. Okay, now. Okay, now this is how you are inserting values within the template. This is how you are inserting values within the template. You are sending values from your application. You are sending values from application. Now this is application 4.py. This is application 4.py. Inside this application, I created a view. Inside this application, I create a function that will add two numbers. After adding two numbers, these numbers are sent to what? Template. After adding two numbers, these numbers are sent to a template. These numbers are sent to what here? Template. Template is the same. Template is what here? Same. It's very difficult because you write everything in what? Function only. Okay, so you cannot have a preview, right? So it is recommended to write the HTML code in HTML file only. Python code in Python file, HTML code in HTML file. Yes or no? Python code in Python file, HTML code in HTML file. Okay, maintaining your code becomes very easy and previewing your code becomes what? Very easy, right? It is also correct, but that is not preferable. It is also correct, but that is not preferable. Okay, it is also correct, but that is not preferable. Okay, right? Understood up to this, right? So here we are sending values. Here we are sending values. Now you can also send the values by using a form. You can also send the values by using a form. You can also send the values by using a form using various request methods. By using various request methods. You can use various request methods and send the values to what here? Form. Okay. So next one is, now what I'm talking about is, so HTTP request methods here. Okay, it means the client can send a request by using various methods, is by using a form. Okay, so we can send a request to Flask application or server using various HTTP request methods. Okay, one is called as a get and one more is what, post. Okay, using get and post. So generally get is a request. Get is a request. Get is a request used for reading information from server, and post is a request used for storing or doing some changes at beside your server side. So get is a request for reading information where it doesn't do any changes at which side, server side. Okay, that is reading. Suppose I want to find details of student. I want to read the information about student. That is called as which request? Get request. Inserting student details is what? Post request. Deleting student details is what? Post request. Updating student details is what? Post request. Post means where server will do some changes. Get means where the server will not do any changes. Get means where the server will not do any changes. Post is where the server will do some changes. Server will do some changes. Okay. Server will do some changes. Okay. So let me tell you an example here. Suppose I'm sending the same data by using one form. Now this is my template here, or HTML template. So this is a template where I input two numbers. This is a template where I input two numbers. This is one number and this is another number. And after giving two numbers, I click on the button add. So I'm telling you basic examples so that you can understand. And once you click on add, this is sent to my application. Okay, this will send to my application. Now this is my application and this application is having one view. And what is that view? Add. And this will receive these two values. This will receive two values by using which method? Get method. This will receive two values by using get method. So when you are defining the URL, at the time of defining URL, at the time of defining what? URL, you define path. You define the path. The path is here add, and you also define the request method. You also define the request method. And what is the request method here? Get. You also define the request method called get. Now, if the request method is get, whatever data you are submitting, whatever data you are submitting, yeah, get means reading data. Whatever data you are submitting, this data is stored in one object. And what is that object is request object. Here you have one predefined object. What is the name of this predefined object? Request. Request is a predefined object. Request is a predefined object. This object contain, this object contain, this object contain which one request data. Means the data sent by client. It means you are submitting this form to which function? Add. But where this data gets stored in which object? Request object. And request is a predefined object of type. A request is a predefined object of type which one? HTTP request. It is a predefined object of which type? HTTP request. Is a predefined object of which type? HTTP request. And if you want to read the data, you can read the data from request object by saying request dot. You can read the data from request object by saying request dot. So request dot, okay, you can use request dot. Okay, request dot. Request is a predefined object and arguments. Request arguments. These are request arguments. Request arguments means where it is storing the values in arguments. Okay, it is a dictionary. From dictionary, you can get the values by using key and using get method, and you can define the parameter name. Suppose if this parameter name is n1, you'll say n1. Request dot arguments dot get, and you are reading the values by using enter. Okay, assume that the name of this parameter is n1. What is the name of this parameter here? N1. Okay, and what is the name of this parameter here? N2. Means this N1, N2 values are stored in which object? Request object. And from request object, you are reading these values by using args.get. Which value are you reading? N1 value and N2 values. You are reading these two values. One is N1 value and one more is what? N2 value. You are reading N1 value and you are reading what? N2 values. So let me tell you this. Okay. Now create a template. Create a template. Inside the template, you create one template. So add home dot.html. This is a template where you input the data. Here I'm writing a form and I create a table here. Table. And here I'm writing table row and table data where I input number 1. And here I'm saying table data and here I'm writing input type. Input type equal to text and name equal to what? N1. So I'm creating one more row and table data. I'm trying to say number 2. And here I'm saying TD, table data. So here again I'm writing input type as a text and name equal to N2. And then you are creating one more row, table row and table data. So input type equal to submit and value equal to what here? Add. Now here, whenever I click on the submit button, this form is submitted to one function. I'm saying here action. Okay, slash. And what is the name of the function is add. What is the name of the function is add. Add is the name of the function. And here if I want, I can define the request method is what? Get. If I don't write the request method, the default request method is what? Get only. The default request method is what? Get only. Okay. Then write an application. You create an application, and this is an application 5.py. Now from Flask, import uh, import import Flask class and import request object, import render template function. Import render template function. You create a Flask application. Create a Flask application with the current module name. Create a Flask application using current module name. Okay. Then what is the name of, now after that you are writing a function. What is the name of the function? Add. And this function, I'm saying route, application dot route. Define the URL. And what is the URL I'm giving? Add. Okay, slash add. And here I'm defining the request method. And what is the request method here? Get. Now here I need to read the values. N1 equal to integer of request dot arguments dot get. You are reading the value of N1, and N2 equal to integer of request dot arguments dot get. You are reading the value of N2, and N3 equal to N1 plus N2. And here I am saying output equal to, or response equal to, or output equal to render template. What is the template you are rendering? You are rendering one template. Assume that the template is some add result dot HTML is the name of the template. The name of the template is add result dot HTML is the name of the template, and to this template I'm sending values. N1 equal to N1 is the value of N1, N2 equal to N2, this is a value of N2, N3 equal to N3, this is a value of N3, and return. What do you return here? Output. So you are trying to input N1, I mean these values you are sending to add result dot HTML. Now in templates you are creating one template. What is the name of the template? Add result dot HTML. Inside this template, you are inserting all the values. Here you are inserting all the values. So already it is there, right? I just take this. You are inserting N1 value, N2 value, and N3 value. You are inserting all the values here, N1, N2, and N3. N3 is nothing but sum. And return the output an application dot run. So you are trying to run this application, right? So after this, run the application Python. So what is the name of the application? Application 5.py. So there is a method called request method is what here get. Method equal to get methods. Sorry, not method here. Methods equal to get. Now here I am executing this application. Oh, this is a list. Okay, right? Now your application is run. And once you run this, but here you have to run the template. Now here we have to give the template. I mean, for displaying the template, I'm writing another view. This is another view or function which display add a template. So this is add a template application dot route, and this is for displaying which template? Add a template. So this is for displaying added template and output equal to render template. And what is the name of the template? Added template dot, sorry, what is our template? Add home. Add home dot HTML. So you have written one function that render template, and here I said output. So this will generate the output. It means why I write this function? This function is for generating template. Okay, where I can input the data, I can input the data, where I can input the data, right? Now, what is the name of this? Slash add home. What is the name of this? Add a template. So add a template. Now this is add a template. Oh, not submitter. Add a template. So table input type is submit. Submit. Input type is a submit. Okay. So when you run the application, here this is add a template. Now here you input 10 and 20 and click on what here add. Now you can see 10, 20 and 30. What is the output is 10, 20 and 30. Now after giving that values here, I input the values here. Once I input the values and press add, which is nothing but submit button. Once you click on submit button, once you click on submit button, once you click on submit button, the request is sent to, once you click on submit button, the request is sent to where? The request is sent to which function? Add a template function or add function? The request is sent to add a template function or add function? Add function. See here. The code what I written, once you click on submit button, submit is formed to which function? Add function. This request is sent to which function? Add function. And this add function read the values by using which object? Request object. Because where these values get stored in? Where these values get stored in? These values get stored in which object? Request object. Where these values get stored in? These values get stored in which object? Request object. And from request object, you are reading the values by using ARGS. ARGS. ARGS is a dictionary. What it contain? Request data. Okay, right? Now you have to understand this. Now this is handling only one. That is request method is what get. This is a request method get. Now here you should write application 5.py. This is application 5 and these are two functions. One is for generating template. One is for generating template and one is receiving data and generating the output. So this is add home.html, which is a template. Add home.html. This is one template. This is one template. Add home.html. And second one is add result.html. So this is add a result where you generate the output. So you can have number of templates. You can have number of templates here, not one template. You can have any number of templates. Okay. Understood? Understood or not? You have to understand this. Okay, we are sending requests. What we are doing? We are sending a request to this view, and this function, it is receiving the data and adding the data and sending the data to another template. What is that another template? Add result.html. And this template insert these values and generate the output. This will insert the values and generate what here? Output. Generate the output. Generate output. Okay, right? You have to understand this. For example, let me tell you one more. Without communicating with the database. For example, you have a login. This is one template where you enter username. Okay, where you enter username and input what here? Password. You enter username and password, and after giving username and password, you click on what here? Login. Once you click on login, this is sent to one function, view function, which is there in your application. Assume that this is your application. Okay, assume that this is your application 6, application 6.py. So you are sending this data by using request method get. And here you have a, so what is the name of this here? Login. And this login should read the data and verify. Is it this username password is valid or not? If it is valid, it should generate some output. If it is invalid, it should generate some other output. Okay, now this is what I'm telling you. So let us see this application, very simple. But this is template. This is template. Yeah, we'll also create database. First, learn this. This is which template here? Login template.html. But here we are not learning database. I'll tell you database also. How to communicate with the database. But let us see first without database, how you build application. So develop a login. What do you do it? Develop a login. Login templates. Go to templates and create one template. So login template dot html. This is my template. So form action. I'm sending a request to which function? Login function. And what I'm sending like this. What I'm sending username. Okay. So input type. Input type is a text. What is the name of this field? Uname. The name of the field is a uname. Then table row and table data, and this is a password, and table data, I'm saying your input type is equal to what here? Password, and name equal to password. This is a parameter name. Then again table row, and table data input type equal to submit and value equal to login. So once you click on this login, this data is submit to one function. What is that function? Login function. Now you write one application, and this is application 6.py. So from Flask, import Flask. So render template, and then one more is request. So here you are writing a function called login. So this is a login function, and you are calling this function with what name? Login name only. So you create one application, Flask application, create a Flask application using current module name, that is nothing but main. What is the current module name? Main. You are saying application dot route. Application dot route. What is the path I have given? Login. And what is the request methods? Request method is a get. What is the request method here? Get. So what is the name of the function is login. And here we are reading, for example, there is one dictionary. Okay, there is one dictionary which contain username. Okay, instead of database, I take dictionary which contain username and password. Which contain username and password. Okay, all these are usernames and passwords which are there in this. Okay, now like this. Now here I am reading username. I am reading username by saying request dot args dot get. What is the name of the parameter? Uname. See here. What is the name of this field? Uname. Okay. Then password equal to request dot args dot get. What you are reading here? Password. After this, you are verifying if username in users and users of username equal to what here? Password. Output is, so output is like this. Insert username, some h2, insert username and say hello, welcome. Hello, welcome. Okay, otherwise the output is so h2 invalid username or password, and return output. Okay, right? Now what is the route I've given? Login. But for displaying that login template, I need to write one view. So this is a view function or function to display the login template. So here output equal to render template. So what is my template? Login underscore template dot html and return output. So I need to give the path here application dot router. So what is the path is login underscore template. And then I run the application saying application dot run. Name. This is name. Okay. Okay, then run the application. Okay, run the application. So what is your application here? Application 6 dot. Application 6.py. So run the application. And first you are calling login template slash login template. Login underscore template. Now here array. Again same problem, huh? Submit table. Submit. Okay, right? Now once you run this is your application. And what is the name of the template? Login template. So where you enter username, password. Password is not visible, right? Password. Some spelling mistakes. Enter username and enter the username. It says username and password and click on login. Now you can see Naresh, hello, welcome, because password is valid. Okay, now suppose if the password is invalid, you can say invalid username or password. It's invalid username or what? Password. See here. Once you click on this submit button, all this data is submit. All this data is submit. All this data is submitted. All this data is submitted to which view? Function. All this data is submitted to which function? Login function. This login function will read username and password and verifies. Is it username is there in users or password is equal to password? Then it will generate the output, right? So this is simple example application 6.py. This is login template. One template is there and login template.html. Okay, now this is my template. Okay, right? I think you understood how to work with the templates. Understood how to work with the template, how to include template within the view function by using render template. By using render template. Okay. And tomorrow I'll tell you how to work with the model. Model means database. How to work with the database. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to work with the database. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to work with the database. Right? Right. We'll see. We don't have that much time. We'll see if possible, I'll tell you. Okay. If time is there, I'll tell you. Okay. Right. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow with the model. Okay. No, yeah. Recordings, I don't think so. Recordings, I don't think so. Okay. Right. Thank you. We'll see you on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see how to work with the models. Please practice this. If you don't practice, then it will be a problem.